Pride of Hiigaran. This is Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shah. Looks like you could use a hand. Attention all Sobani, pick your targets and engage.
Hello everyone, this is Captain Soban. Welcome aboard the Starship Normal Prize for another episode of Homeworld Fleet Tactical Battle Simulator? I think that's what we're doing? No, Homeworld Fleet Tactical Simulator. Something like that. Why do I always get these intros like messed up? I don't know why. It's always like, I'm always like in these videos, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to record, let's do this. And when I start recording, I'm like, crap, what's the game I'm playing again? It's like every time. I don't know why, it's just the way my brain works. But anyways, today we are checking out the Hiigaran frigates. We're gonna check out all of the different frigates that we can build in this mod and examine their strengths and weaknesses. So this team can build up to 9 different frigates. So that's a generous amount of variety that we have with this one, which is really, really cool. But we're going to go ahead and start out with the first one on the list, the Torpedo frigate. So the Torpedo frigate in this mod is a Corvette suppression frigate. It is very, very good against Corvettes because of the fact that it can shoot the missiles, split the missiles into 4 pieces, and then those 4 pieces can fly around and target Corvettes very easily. Anyways, yeah, it is Torpedo frigate FLG 42, unit role Corvette suppression, secondary role anti-frigate. Subclass Torpedo frigates, and it's anti-frigate when it's been upgraded, which I will read more in the future. But if you guys ever played Homeworld 2, you'll know that these torpedo frigates are really good against Corvettes, and then when they upgrade them to where they don't split anymore to become effective against frigates. So they kind of kept that same role in this mod. Tech level, Mark 1 anti-Corvette frigate, engagement range medium. So it has its torpedoes can fly a long way, so they can stay like around the mothership and defend like areas further away than like scouts and whatnot. Prerequisites: frigate facility. You can build this as soon as you have your frigates facility built, and I believe in the campaign you get these on mission 4, just like you do in the original campaign. And then armament is 2 times torpedo launchers, or 2 torpedo launchers, and MRCT-26, which has a range of 4.5 kilometers. And I like this. When you upgrade it with the research, which I haven't done yet, you get it right here. It improves it to where it has a LRCT-26, which I'm assuming is long range instead of medium range. So it has a range of 6 kilometers. And then it splits into ASM 25 20 kiloton torpedoes, which have a range of 6 kilometers. Those are the ones that will do a massive amount of damage to the actually that might be backwards. No, I think I'm reading that right, because the LRCT is just an upgraded version of the normal torpedo with a longer range, and they splits into the ASM 25 20 kiloton, which it splits into 4 missiles. So that's 80 kilotons of TNT of torpedoes going after Corvettes. That's why it's really, really good against Corvettes. I think I'm reading that right. I might be still reading that wrong, but I think that's how it works. I think it starts as the LRCT-26 and then splits into the ASM-25. But anyways, it's really good against Corvettes, and then when it's upgraded, it has the range and the firepower to take on small groups of frigates. So it's strong versus Corvettes and frigates when upgraded, and then mediocre versus fighters, and that's mainly because fighters have a lot of speed, and the missiles, even with their speed boost when they've been split, don't quite keep up with fast-moving fighters, so it's okay against them, but not great against them. Same with capital ships, because they have a lot of armor, and they have a lot of a hull that that can survive a lot of hits. So in large groups it might be good against capital ships, but they're not designed to go against them. Weak versus bombers, destroyers, and cruisers. Yeah, so it's weak versus ships that are good against frigate class ships, and it's weak against destroyers and cruisers because they have a lot of health and a lot of firepower, and they'll wipe frigates out with no problem. Description: versatile frigate class warship armed with cluster torpedoes. It can be upgraded with ASM-25 Unity warhead torpedoes for engaging frigates. Oh, okay, so I did read that wrong. So the LRCT-26 is the torpedo that gets split. where the ASM-25 is when it's a single torpedo. So that's 25 kilotons of TNT when it's still a single torpedo. Okay. It can be upgraded with ASM-25 Unity warhead torpedoes for engaging frigates, resource collectors, and light capital ships. Sorry if you hear some weird sounds. For some reason, my saliva is very active right now, and I don't know why. I don't know what caused it to be so active, but I'll try my best not to have too much of that in the video, and I apologize about that in advance. Anyways, our next ship, the Flak frigate, the LFK-43. This is your main anti-fighter. Oh wait, hang on. It might help if I actually show you that ship. We're still looking at the torpedo frigates. My bad. I just got involved in talking.
Reporting.
Anyways, here is our Flak frigate. This is your main anti-fighter frigate, subclass assault frigates. It has a tech level of Mark 1 anti-fighter frigate, engagement range short, so it doesn't have any long-range weapons, so it's going to stay close to combat. Prerequisites, frigate facility. This is built as soon as you get your frigate facility. Now, in its armament is 2 PAC-75 proximity burst turrets, which have a 60 millimeter radius when they explode. So they are a lot more potent than the other ones. Like the light gun ship has a 50 millimeter autocannon, and I think the interceptor is like a 35 millimeter. So that's a large round, which makes it very effective against fighters and bombers, because the proximity burst turret doesn't actually have to hit the target, it just has to hit near it, and the explosion will do damage to it. It's mediocre versus pretty much nothing, but it's weak against corvettes, frigates, and capital ships. Anything that has a high amount of armor, because the ship doesn't do a whole lot of damage, the ship is weak against. It's really only designed to kill fighters. Description: basic single role frigate, armed with proximity burst cannon turrets. Its accessibility makes it useful for keeping opposing fighters at bay until more capable anti-fighter units can be fielded. So it's really good at keeping fighters at bay, but again, if a large group of fighters come in, it might have some trouble. Wiping them out. So you probably want to make sure that you still have other anti-fighter ships with it. It's really good against fighters, but that it could still get overwhelmed. So next after that, we have our Escort frigate, which is the upgraded version of the Flak frigate. Escort frigate FFE-43. Unit role, anti-fighter. Secondary role, anti-corvette. Subclass, assault frigates. Tech level Mark II anti-fighter frigate. Engagement range short, because again, it just has a couple weapons that shoot that engage in a short range, so it's not really designed for long range combat. Prerequisites: fighter facility and advanced research module. Armament comes with 2 KAC-75 dual RF 75mm turrets. So these are upgraded versions of the other ones, because now it has 2 turrets instead of a single turret. Comes with 2 MRM-18 missile launchers that have a range of 6 kilometers, so that's kind of its long-range protection. I believe I saw it. Yeah, it's down here. Here's the missile launcher. It also comes with 2 PBL-25 anti-missile cannons. So it has a couple cannons that are specifically designed to shoot down missiles. So this guy, being an escort frigate, is really good for protecting the large capital ships from incoming missiles and fighters and corvettes. Strong versus fighters and bombers. Mediocre. It should also say fighters, bombers, and missiles there, since it has an anti-missile cannon. Mediocre versus corvettes. It's good against them, but because of the missile launcher and the turrets, but it's not designed to go against corvettes. That's what I like about this mod. Like, we have ships like this that are heavily armed, but it's armed for a specific purpose. This guy's good against fighters and missiles, where the torpedo frigate specializes against corvettes. so it still doesn't take that role away from you. And it's weak versus frigates and capital ships because it doesn't do enough damage to really take down those type of ships. It's more designed to take down strike craft. Description: advanced anti-fighter frigate variant armed with rapid-firing kinetic turrets and with medium-range missiles. Its agility enables it to evade a high percentage of strike craft launch mutilations, increasing its survivability. It can also provide limited anti-missile screening for allied capital ships, so it should be mediocre versus missiles then. But yeah, but for a frigate-class ship, this guy is very quick, so he can outmaneuver some of the missile systems of fighters and corvettes. Like it says, increasing its survivability. But one interesting fact about this guy, you actually don't get this until like later in the game, like mission 6 or 7. But there's a thing in mission 3, once you unlock the carrier from protecting the Kif Nabala, or by repairing the Kif Nabala's systems, the carrier comes with a equipped advanced research module and the ability to build escort frigates. It's only for that mission though. Once you go to mission 4, that escort frigate then turns into a flak frigate. I don't know if that was a glitch. I don't know if that's intentional. But if you guys ever play the campaign, take advantage of that because you're not going to get escort frigates till like 3 or 4 missions after mission 3. So yeah, it's kind of a weird bug slash maybe something that was actually supposed to happen. But yeah, that's an interesting thing I wanted to point out. Okay, next we have my frigate, or my favorite frigate. I was gonna say my frigate, which makes no sense.
Standing by.
The ion cannon frigate, and in this mod we have 2 versions of the ion cannon frigate. We have the Mark 1, which gets unlocked I think on mission 6, and we got Mark 2, which doesn't come unlocked to like mission 12, like much later in the game. Anyways, let's take a look at the first one. Ion frigate Mark 1, FFI 44. This is your anti-capital ship, anti-frigate frigate. Does not have a subclass. It should have a subclass, but it doesn't have like a specific subclass that it's part of. Tech level Mark 1 anti-capital ship frigate. Engagement range medium because of its particle cannon. It can shoot from pretty far away. Prerequisites: frigate facility and advanced research module. Armament is 1 MIC 9000, which is a 9 gigawatt ion cannon. Again, 9 gigawatt. That is a crap ton of power that this thing consumes in order to launch its particle cannon. Strong versus frigates and capital ships makes sense because of its powerful weapon. Mediocre versus nothing. It doesn't really have anything that's good against or bad against. It just has something it's really good against and something it's really bad against. And weak versus fighters, bombers, and corvettes because it can't track them with the particle cannon, so they can easily overwhelm this the ion cannon frigate. Which makes sense. That's how the ion cannon frigate has always been in Homeworld 1 and Homeworld Cataclysm and this one. It's always been really good against capital ships because of its powerful particle beam, and then weak against everything else because it can't track them. And I love that concept. I love the fact that the ion cannon frigate is very specifically focused. Description: heavy frigate constructed around a large fixed ion particle beam cannon that is capable of delivering massive amounts of damage to capital ships and frigates. Its lack of defensive weaponry makes it very vulnerable to opposing fighters and corvettes. So like I say every single time I play these games, if you ever build a fleet of ion frigates, have something to protect it. Get a couple, in this game, like get a couple flak frigates or escort frigates, or maybe get like 3 flak frigates and 3 torpedo frigates to defend the ion cannon frigates from fighters and corvettes, because they will kill it. It has no answer to fast-moving strike craft, so you'll need something to protect these in combat from those fast-moving ships. But anyways, let's look at the Mark II version of the ion cannon frigate. Oh, by the way, that one gets unlocked, I think, on mission 5. When you're trying to find the Oracle.
Ready.
But the Mark II ion cannon frigate, let's take a look at it. So ion frigate Mark II FFI 44. Role: anti-capital ship, anti-frigate. Subclass: nothing. Tech level Mark II anti-capital ship frigate. Engagement range: long. So it's a little bit longer than medium. Prerequisites: frigate facility, advanced research module, and improved frigate tech. So one of the main differences between these two guys, the armament that this guy comes with is one MIC 7500, which is a 7.5 gigawatt ion cannon. It's a little bit weaker than the 9000, but the difference is the range on the Mark 1 frigate is 6 kilometers. The range on this one is 7.5, so it has a larger range. And I believe it also has a faster attack speed because it has like an improved cooling system compared to the original. So its particle cannon doesn't last as long, but it has a faster firing rate, which gives it more DPS over time. So very interesting indeed. It also comes with 2 SRM-16 missile or launcher turrets, which have a range of 3 kilometers. This is to give it some defense against fighter class ships. So you can see that right up here on top as a little missile launcher here. So strong versus frigates and capital ships, mediocre versus fighters because of that built-in missile launcher, but weak versus bombers and corvettes. It's weak against anything that is specialized in killing frigates. Description: improved variant of the FF-144 incorporating an ion cannon with improved targeting range and missile-based CIWS to rectify the FF-544's vulnerability to fighters. The improved engagement range of the MIC 7500 rivals the typical engagement ranges of cruiser-class warships, so it has a long engagement range. So it could stay back and easily take care of frigates that have like a 6-kilometer engagement range and kind of use the missile destroyers tactic of moving away while engaging before the enemies can get close enough to really do anything. At first, I didn't really care too much for these because they have a weaker ion cannon, but after messing around with them, I liked them better than the original one. The original one is still like one of my favorites, but this guy is really cool because of the increased attack speed. Okay, and then that's the ion cannon frigates, and next we have the missile frigate, which is new to this mod. I do love the missile frigate's design. I like the fact it has these giant missile batteries here on the side, and I believe it launches the missiles out from the side, like the Titan missile destroyer does. And I love the fact it has like these extra engines on the side too, which makes me wonder how much like material and armor or inside, or not armor, but there should be like missile manufacturing systems inside both of these arms, so it makes me wonder how heavy they are to add extra engines to the side. It not only does it look really cool, but it has to have some sort of functionality. Anyways, missile frigate, which is one of the other anti-capital, anti-frigate ships you can make. Subclass standoff range frigate. I believe this is your first artillery class frigate in this mod. So engagement range, standoff, prerequisites, frigate facility and advanced research module. It has 8 LRAM-22 launchers, which are 22 kiloton TNT, I believe is what they are, with a range of 13.5 kilometers. Very long range for Homeworld standards. And also has one PIC 450ER turret, which is a 450 megawatt pulsar turret. I believe that should be on the underbelly, if I remember. Oh yeah, it's right here all the way in the back. There's the pulsar turret. This makes it very strong against frigates, destroyers, and platforms. So any type of like mid-class ship that has that can't really engage quickly, or ships that don't move at all, it's really effective against. It's mediocre versus cruisers. They can take down cruiser class ships in large groups, but they don't have the firepower to really take them down quickly, but they totally can. And they're weak against fighters and corvettes because these missiles aren't exactly fast. They're pretty slow missiles, so fighters and corvettes can easily outmaneuver them. Description: standoff range missile frigate equipped with powerful vernier thrusters for quick acceleration. Indeed, so that's why it has so many thrusters. FFG 45 fluid flotillas, what I'm going to call them, Can saturate capital ships and frigates with long-range missile barrages. While not as effective as an ion cannon frigate, FFG 45s can be used to destroy or disable the threatening opposition units before they enter their weapon ranges of allied units. So yeah, they're long-range artillery units that can protect the fleet while staying far away from the engagement range. Very, very cool. These guys can be quite annoying in the campaign, especially on certain missions where the enemy tends to build a lot of them. So eventually you would just have like a missile frigate versus an enemy missile frigate standoff, which is why they're standoff class ships, where they're just shooting each other and then slowly killing each other. Or the enemy's like using them to aid their fleet and you're using yours to aid your fleet. It gets pretty interesting. These are very interesting, and they can be quite annoying if you don't know how to actually take care of these guys. But they're a very interesting concept to this game. Okay, next we have our defense field frigate, which I don't believe actually changes a whole lot in this mod. Let's read about it. So, defense frigate, FFD 47, unit role, mobile tactical defense shield. Secondary role, escort frigate, and anti-missile. Oh, never mind, so it's been changed a little bit then. Subclass, auxiliary frigate. Tech level, doesn't require anything. Can be built as soon as you have your facility, I believe. Engagement range, short to medium. Prerequisites, frigate facility, advanced research module, and an FFD 47 tech. Never mind, it requires a lot of tech. Oh, and I forgot to say, the Ion Cannon Frigate 2, I believe, unlocks like late in the game, like mission 12 or something. Missile frigate unlocks like mission 9, I believe. I think you get in the same mission where you get your destroyer. Defense field frigate unlocks after you defeat the Bentusi, so it's like mission 11 or 12. Armament comes with one KAC-30 dual RF 33 or 30mm turret. I believe that is a fighter defense turret, or anti-fighter turret, which I believe is this baby down here. And it also comes with one EMP bomb launcher, which is this baby up here, with a range of 5.5 kilometers, and the defense turret's range of 2.8, so it's just for defending the ship. And then one defense field of 1.2 kilometer omnidirectional coverage. So when you activate the defense field,
Powered up.
brings his things up, activates the defense field, and now everything is inside the defense sphere. And if you guys know from Homeworld 2, that means that this area, if the enemy is like right here trying to shoot at you, it will absorb all the kinetic weapons and missile weapons that come in contact. Won't absorb energy weapons though. So effective. Oh, it tells you right here. Never mind. I should have kept reading. Kept reading. Yep, those are words. Effective defense against missiles, fighters, corvettes, frigates, and destroyers. Ineffective defending against strategic bombers, cruisers, and battleships. Ah, okay, so that gives a little bit more use to the strategic bombers. I didn't know that they could penetrate through the energy shields. Interesting. Good to know. And cruisers and battleships have defense field weapons. Like the battleships have the kinetic Trinity cannon, which can go right through the shield, and same with some of the cruisers and whatnot. So they're good against mid-class ships, small to mid-class ships. Good to know. Description: escort frigate outfitted with a tactical energy field for defending nearby ships and a rapid-firing autocannon for intercepting missiles. It is also equipped with an anti-capital ship EMP launcher. Interesting. Okay, so that turret on it is an anti-missile turret, not anti-fighter that I thought it was. Okay. Cool, and you can disable enemy capital ships. Indeed. Very, very useful. A lot more useful than it was in the original Homeworld 2, where the only thing it had for itself was the energy shield. Cool. And now next we have our Marine frigate, which is the main boarding frigate you use, or main boarding ship you use in the game to capture enemy ships. That role hasn't changed from the Homeworld 2 era, or Homeworld 2 game. So anyways, let's read about it. Marine frigate, FFM 46, unit role, infiltrator, capture Capture opposing capital ships and frigates, subclass infiltrator frigate. Tech level doesn't require anything. Engagement range short and doesn't have any type of weapons that can be used at long range. Prerequisites: frigate facility and advanced research module. I believe you get this guy. You get this guy on mission 3 because you're supposed to use it to get the shipyard back if he gets captured. Armament is 1 KAC 75 dual, which is a 75mm turret. I'm assuming that's an anti-fighter turret, and 1 infiltrator plasma torch at 0.5 kilometers. And when it gets really close, it uses that to capture an enemy ship. Able to infiltrate frigates and capital ship. Unable to infiltrate fighters and corvettes. Indeed, just like Homeworld 2. Description: specialized frigate for sieging enemy capital ships and frigates. So this is what you'll be using in the game to capture enemy ships. It has an anti-fighter defense turret, but that's about it. There's nothing really special about him in this mod. But there is a second version of the Marine frigate called the Support Frigate, which is part of the game. And we will take a look at him real quick. So here is the Support Frigate. It looks similar to Marine frigate, but it's a little bit more decked out. So, Support Frigate, FFS 46. Unit role, Picket Frigate. Secondary role, Ship Repair. Subclass, Auxiliary Frigate. Tech level, Mark II Auxiliary Ship. It's basically an upgraded version of the Marine frigate. Or what I think of it more as a repurposed Marine frigate for a different role. Engagement range short. Prerequisites: frigate facility, advanced research module, and improved frigate tech. Armament comes with 2 MRG 250 mass drivers. That is a 250mm barrel that it uses to shoot kinetic objects at people, and I believe it's this thing up here. So it says there's 2 of them. Where would the second one be? Maybe on the bottom? It's somewhere on the ship. Oh wait, no, it's these things up here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense, because that's a pretty big barrel. Indeed. 1 PBL 100 turret, which is a 100mm mass turret, which is this guy up here. That's what I thought the other one was, but yeah, that looks a lot larger than that one, so indeed. It comes with also 2 KAC 50 RF dual turrets, 50mm turrets. I'm assuming that's like, it might be anti-missile. It's these right here, these little turrets. It's possible they might be anti-fighter missiles, or anti-fighter. Equipment comes with a long-range sensors, so it has the ability to give you a large radius of the sensors going on in the battlefield. It also comes with an anti-dust navigational sensor, which I am not too sure what that is. I'm assuming that means that the sensors can't be like distorted or something like that. Not entirely sure. And it comes with built-in repair systems. I have a 900mm, geez, that would be a small repair radius. A 900-meter operational distance. So I believe it can automatically repair ships around it. Mediocre versus frigates and fighters. Weak versus bombers, corvettes, and capital ships. So it's probably okay against frigates with that with this giant cannon in the front, and okay against fighters because of the defense cannons around it. Again, they're more defensive weapons. They're not really meant to go into combat with. They're more just there to protect itself from incoming engagements. Can't see all the description. I guess we'll read as much as we can. Reason I cannot see it all. And I don't know if there's actually a way to change that because it's the bottom ship. Oh well. Description: support frigate incorporating a hyperspace module. Oh, indeed, so it has its own built-in hyperspace module, just like the heavy corvette. Long-range sensors and self-defense ECM for long-range reconnaissance. Its secondary role enables it to dock and repair allied capital ships. There's more to it, but I can't read it all because it's cut off my screen. So, yeah, it is a reconnaissance repair ship. long-range reconnaissance repair ship. Very, very interesting. A lot different than the infiltrator ship from the Marine frigate. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it. That is all of the frigates that you can build in the Tactical Fleet Simulator mod. Very, very cool. Now, of all of these, I think the missile frigate is probably one of my frigates, or one of my favorites, just because of the fact that it's a long-range artillery ship, and I love the way it looks too. I love the fact it has these like giant arms. They're just packed full of missiles and missile manufacturing technology, so they can keep building those missiles. It looks really, really cool. I love this ship. In fact, I love it so much that it's going to be our thumbnail for today. Let me go ahead and I want to get a little bit better picture. A little too close. There we go. That'll work. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this. Next one, we're going to look at all the capital ships. It's probably going to be a long video because there are a lot of capital ships to talk about. There's a lot of features and whatnot that they can do. So that video is going to probably be pretty long. Yeah, but that's going to be the next one. And then I think after that, we're going to do the platforms and the utility ships. And then that will be it for the Hiigaran side, and we'll start working on the Vader side. So yeah, so far I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you like the little tangents I go on when it comes to describing all of these ships and what they're good against. I really do like this mod. I think I said this before when I was streaming, but if I would have found this mod before I found Complex, I would have played this mod all the time instead of Complex. Complex is a fantastic game, but this game does such a good job when it comes to balancing out ships and what they're good against and what they're bad against. Like, for instance, Torpedo frigate, good against corvettes. Flak and Escort, good against fighters. Ion cannon frigates, good against capital ships. Missile frigate, good against frigates from long range. Defense field frigate, good at protecting your allies. Marine frigate, good at designed to board enemy ships. Support frigate, long range reconnaissance scout ship. Every single one of these ships has a very specific role that they're good against and what they're bad against. Where in Complex, they have their specific role, but once you upgrade them, then they become good against everything. And that kind of ruins the fun. Where in this game, like for instance the Flak and Escort frigate, the Escort frigate's been upgraded to be okay against corvettes, but it still has the specific role of protecting the fleet against fighters. It's not powerful enough to fight anything bigger than fighters. And I love that. I love that about this mod. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this. Please leave a like if you did. If you like what I do, consider subscribing, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Until then, this is Captain Soban signing out.
The Vader have arrived. Emergency hyperspace procedures initiated. The mothership must survive.